I sort of started out as a very lonely child. I was a guy that sort of spent his lunch hour in the library, reading books, trying to avoid the outside world. Sort of in my own little sphere. As I was growing up, I didn't have a girlfriend. I thought that this was normal because my focus was study and not relationships at the time. But when I hit high school, and I realized that a lot of guys that were my friends, especially during primary school, had girlfriends. They all had, huge social circles, and they had girlfriends. They would go out to house parties and get drunk, and they were 15, they were getting drunk, and they're having fun and doing crazy stuff that I sort of wanted to do. And I realized that I was missing something, an element where I could be something better, that I could work on something that would help me to get to a stage where I can do that stuff along with my friends. So my philosophy was really originally that if something needed work, maybe like my physics exam needed work, I would focus on my physics exam for maybe a week or so. If my maths needed work, I needed up my grades, I would focus on maths. I reached an age where I needed to focus on relationships. Spent an entire year reading and watching, reading materials online, forums. I watched heaps of videos. You can read all the books. You can watch all the videos you want to watch. You can read the forums. You can subscribe yourself to 50 gurus. It doesn't matter, but getting yourself out there, pushing yourself in real life situations is what really makes you learn. It's not about the reading content, but applying it to practical circumstances, things that really happen, is probably the most powerful learning tool that would really accelerate your game, take it to the next level. I took my friends out, and I would get comments from my friends saying, because I was always talking to a cute girl, and they'd be like, Alex, what were you saying? What were you talking about? How did you move her from there to over there? And I thought, well, maybe I can start doing this sort of stuff, helping guys to get better, to become a better person, to improve what wasn't working for them. So I just wanted to definitely give back. So I run workshops now, and I've been doing it now for 2 years, and it's probably one of the best things that's ever happened to me. I really enjoy where you get a scenario where a guy, his reality was, he can't do that. It's always, I can't, I won't, it's impossible. All the really, the negative words. But if you just push himself, the can't becomes can, and the impossible becomes possible, and very likely to do it again. You just switch his entire reality, turn it upside down. See a woman on like a park bench, or maybe just sitting down and enjoying a cup of coffee at a cafe. You think, how can I approach her? How can I walk up to her and start talking to her? That would seem natural, and you wouldn't come across as sort of creepy. The best way to start a conversation with them is to get their attention. Something like, excuse me, sorry, do you know where the nearest Starbucks is? It's a great way to open women on the street, especially when they're sitting down. Starbucks is basically on every corner, and of course they're going to know the directions. Even asking an opinion opener, something like that. Something like, would you ever date your best friend's ex? Asking about an opinion, something that you've rehearsed, is a great way to do it. Women get really involved in this. Hey guys, would you ever date David Hasselhoff? I know he's like 70 or something, but would you ever date him? And they'll be like, yes, no, whatever they say, it doesn't matter. Oh, actually, just on this topic, it's only take 20 seconds. I've got an appointment, but let me just take a seat, pull a chair out, or pull a chair from the nearest table, sit yourself down. You can be sitting down next to her in less than 20 seconds from when you first saw her. A lot of guys find it really difficult to do this, but the fact of the matter is, it's so simple to do. Some guys' reality is they can't walk up to a woman sitting down because they think, she's in her own world, she's reading a book, she doesn't want to be disturbed. But some girls, I personally believe that most girls want to be talked to. They're not being disturbed. You're a fun, interesting guy. They're going to enjoy the company. And approaching groups during the day, I think it's all about engaging both of them. You need to not focus your attention on one girl, you need to focus attention on both girls, especially in the first 5 minutes. If you show interest too much in the girl that you're interested in, then it's sort of your friend will realize this and you're like, my friend always gets the interest, it's not fair, I sort of want to talk to her, and she'll ask you to go away or something like that. So be friendly, be really friendly to both of them, or to the whole group, and you're a very social guy, you're a fun, interesting guy, and you have lots going for you. I think having a follow-up story it's vital to push interaction further. You have your conversational starter memorized. It's very advisable you have it memorized, but having something to say after it is even more important. A lot of guys, they're like, would you ever date David Hasselhoff, or would you ever date your best friend's ex? And they'll be like, yeah, I would, and after that there's like a lull in the conversation. The conversation might go up here, the girls will find it funny, and the attractions are levels up here, but then it'll just go down again, and the girls will look at each other and think, is that it? Okay, well, you might as well leave now because we're having a pretty in-depth conversation. I think being an interesting storyteller is a really important part to picking up, but there is a structure to it. You have to sort of follow the structure to make it interesting. Something which will get them hooked off the bat. Something which make them lean in and listen to what you got to say next. Something like, guys, you're not going to believe what just happened to me. This is so weird. Yeah, even things like, guys, did you just see what happened outside? You're not going to believe this. That's the lead-in. That is something which gets your attention initially. So you have a lead-in, you have the interesting points, and you have to have a conclusion. Something which, it can't just be dribbling away. It can't be dying down to nothing. It's got to be a reason why you have to convey something in a story, something about you, your personality, or your lifestyle. There's got to be something conveyed. It can't be a story where you just mumbo jumbo and it doesn't really go anywhere. So there's got to be an end to the story. Something like you teach them something, you show them something about yourself, and you demonstrate a personality trait which is highly advisable, or it's a punchline. It's something funny which gets them laughing. It's and that conveys also in itself a personality trait that you're funny. I recommend touching a girl right off the bat. Now, we all call it kina or kinesthetics in itself. That's what it's called. You want to get their attention. You open the group, you touch them here. You not only get their attention through them hearing your voice, but you also get their attention through touching them, which will give you undivided attention. This is good. A lot of guys try to struggle with, improving their voice to a degree where you can talk or you can speak at a very loud volume and you'll get the attention automatically, but it's more powerful to touch them. Touch them on the arm, somewhere neutral, somewhere on the upper arm, the lower arm, the elbows, the forearm or the hands. You put your hand there, you take it away, you pull it back. Too many guys leave it there and it comes across as a bit creepy, so you sort of have to leave it there for about 3 seconds and pull it back. So, hey guys, can I ask you a quick question? Pull back. That gets their attention and you're not coming across as creepy. They'll be much more open to talk to you. They come across as very friendly. It's a lot of guys, the 20 minutes into a conversation, they'll look at the watch and go, wow, I've spoken to this girl for 20 minutes and I haven't touched her yet. My God, this is going to be a bit weird. So they start touching her. They start touching her arm and the girl gets freaked out by this. She starts looking at her friends. She's like, what just happened there? This guy hasn't touched me for 20 minutes and all of a sudden he prods me on the arm. This is a bit weird, and it will come across as weird. So you have to, I think you have to demonstrate that this is what you do all the time and it's normal for you to touch women. As soon as you open, or as soon as you start a conversation, get their attention, touch their arm, they'll look at you. This is a great way to do it. Games are really important. We had a student last week and basically we taught him the power of, I know it seems pretty silly, but thumb wars. This is really good. It's a good way to touch women off the bat. You'll be talking to them for less than 5 minutes and you'll say, would you consider yourself interesting? And they'll be like, well, yeah. He said, well, on a scale of 1 to 10, how interesting, or how adventurous would you consider yourself? And they'll be like, 4, they'll be like a 5, and you're like, whatever they say, it doesn't matter. Say, okay, let me test you. Just make a fist for me, yeah. Make a fist for me, okay, good. You play thumb wars with them. You cheat. You do everything in your power to cheat. You want to be the one that comes on the top all the time. Then bust her on cheating on you. It's a great way to do it. Hand slaps. This is also a really good thing. This is what I do in isolation. Funny enough, I do this when I pull her away, because this is the reason why. This is the reason what I use to pull her away from her friends. Let me show you this really cool game. Alright, come over here. And I'll borrow her for like 30 seconds. Of course, it's going to be like, more like 30 minutes. I need enough time to work my, work my angles. But I pull her along. You ask her to put her hands in prayer position, okay? And she's like, what's this? I'm an atheist. And you're like, no, it's cool. I'm Catholic. Don't worry about it. Point it towards her, and she'll point it towards her like this. And you say, okay, now I'm going to go first, and you slap her. Now the idea of the game is to move her hands away in a rapid motion as to, as she does want to be hit. And she's like, oh, hand slaps, I love this. I used to play this in 4th grade. Interesting handshakes, this is a great way to do it. We teach this in our workshops, but every guy should know this, I think. You need to teach her something. You have to convey that you know something that she doesn't know. So you get her hands out, and you be like, listen. No, a friend of mine from LA popped over a few weeks ago. He was staying at my place with his girlfriend. Now, basically, she taught me this really cool handshake. So you get her hands together, you can make it up on the spot, basically. Everybody does, but you teach her around, you do this, you do that, then you do the tickle, then you do the bomb, then you explode, then you might give a little twirl around and do a little dance or something like that, something which make her laugh. Well, this is something we cover in our workshops, but just to touch on that, it's really important to not hesitate when it comes to getting a phone number. It's like when you initially touch a girl or keno a girl. You can't hesitate when you're getting out your phone. See, what I tend to do is I get out the phone and it's like I expect her to enter her phone, because I know the interaction in my head, whether or not it was like that or not. I know the interaction went great. I know she had she was laughing at everything, that she really enjoyed my company, and that she'll give me her phone number. So I usually hand my phone number with the expectation that she's going to put it in by herself. So, but hey, actually, what are you doing tomorrow night? What interesting plans do you have planned? None? Actually, I can already predict. I have a gift. Enter your digits there. I'll SMS you. It's really, it's a lot easier than most guys think. Having a venue already on the day. Oversell the venue. Okay, so you must have. What I use is I have a venue already in place where it's already pre-planned. I know the time already. I know the place. It's only up the road from my place. It's really convenient for me. I'd be like, actually, what are you doing tomorrow night? What interesting plans do you have? None? Great, okay. Well, enter your number here, and I'll SMS you the details. And it's a great way to do it. Yeah, having a prepared venue somewhere close to your place is really important. You need to I suppose go to the venue more often, right? Know the bartenders, know what they're like. Be on a name-to-name basis is really important, I think. So when you rock up with the girl on your arm, they're like, hey, hey Alex, how you going? You're like, hey Fred. How's it happening, sharpshooter? Something like that. Knowing what it has to offer, it has to be something interesting. It has to be a bar or maybe even a cafe, somewhere that it's better than most cafes. Something where like maybe they make really pretty designs, or it's the style, the decor of the place is like, it's so captivating that you have to show your friends. You take the friends there all the time, that's why you take her there. So try and sell it. Have you ever been to the Fish Cafe? And they're like, no, where is it? You say, okay, well, it's pretty much opposite where I live, but this cafe, it's so cool to go to, because you walk in, there's an aquarium there, and you got all these like, this catfish swimming around, and you got like, I haven't even named the catfish, it's so rad. But you got these, you have the waiters and the waitresses walking around, and they've got flippers on. It's so cool. You have to come. You have to join me tomorrow night. What interesting plans do you have? And they're like, you know, they're still thinking about the catfish. I'm like, wow, I have to go to this place, you know. The idea is to just sell the venue to them that much that they'll want to go anyway. You know, you want to make it sound that good that even if they're not going with you, they want to go in their own time. But why not go with you? You're going tomorrow.